Welcome everybody to the Heather Marie Show. I am your host, Heather Marie. Today we have a special guest. We have SinCityKiss and Paul Stanley. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. Nice makeup. Did you wake up like that?
What's that?
Did you wake up like with that makeup on?
Oh, I wish. It wouldn't have taken me so long to put it on if I did.
Okay, well, tell me about yourself. Where are you from? Are you from Vegas?
Originally from Connecticut, and then moved to Phoenix when I was 12. Went back and forth a little bit, so I went to Connecticut for a year after that, and then came back for many years, moved to New Jersey for a couple of years after I graduated college, and then went back to Phoenix in '91 and lived there until we moved to Vegas in 2014.
2014, okay. So when did SinCityKiss start? When you obviously got to Vegas?
No, it started before. We started it in 2012, and I would come up here all the time. There was times I was coming up every weekend. You know, I drive up Friday night after work, and we would do shows on Saturday. And then we did a residency in the Four Queens before I moved up here. So I would work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in Phoenix, and I would drive up Thursday night, work from a hotel room here Friday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday we would do shows, and then I would drive back to Phoenix. So
what made you, oh, sorry.
No, it was a really crazy time.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of traveling, but what made you say SinCityKiss? Were you playing beforehand, before you moved up here, like in another state?
Yeah, so I had a band in Arizona and Phoenix, and it was a little bit on the rough side. You know, it was our first time doing a Kiss tribute band, and but it was a good place to cut my teeth, and I think it prepared me for the bigger spotlight of Las Vegas. So I did that concurrent for a while with SinCityKiss. Our Gene, who I met up here, we'd known each other probably 2 years before we started SinCityKiss. He was in a band at the time called Las Vegas Kiss.
Oh.
And then he left the band, you know, as people do. Bands rarely stay together as long as we've been together.
Is it the original band? Or are you guys still all together? It's all same four guys?
Yeah. Well, no, we've had a couple different people come through, but so the name Las Vegas Kiss was taken. So I said, well, what about SinCityKiss? And that, from that point on, that was the name of the band. We had, we went through a couple of drummers, went through many Ace Frehleys, but Carl Ciadella, who is our drummer now, has been our drummer for the longest amount of time. And he is a great Peter Criss when it comes to singing. He sounds just like him. He can scream just like him. Our current ace, we've had, I guess, not quite a year, but he really fits well with the band. An ace that we used for a long time was actually from Kansas. So he would fly out for shows. Nice. And then we had a local guy who's really great ace too. He just got tired of putting on the makeup and all of that, you know. So it's not like most bands where you have a show, you show up in a cool t-shirt and jeans and, you know, maybe a cool pair of shoes. You know, for us, it's get there early, load in, which means putting up our flashing Kiss sign, setting up the smoke machines, doing the sound check, then going home, putting on the makeup, which can take anywhere from 90 minutes to 3 hours, depending on which character you are.
How did you learn the makeup? Did you learn it yourself, or do you have someone help you?
When I was in high school, I used to draw these faces all the time. So it was just a matter of learning how to do it on a 3D surface instead of a piece of paper. And then along the way, you pick up hints about, like, how do you set the makeup so it doesn't run and things like that. So on a typical day, like, we play Vamp'd a lot. A typical
I love Vamp'd.
There
I've seen you guys there before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, we show up at 3, we set up the stage, we do sound check at 5. Hopefully we're out of there by 6 or 6:30. We go home, put on the makeup, come back for a 10 o'clock show, you know, play for 90 minutes to 2 hours, take pictures with everybody afterward, then break down. By the time you get home and go to bed, it's 3 a.m., right?
Oh,
So
you must love what you do then to do put all that time into it. I was curious, where do you get your costumes? Do you have them made?
Yeah, we have them made. There's a lady in town who makes costumes. She's really great. So yeah, we have them made.
I was gonna say, what out of all the shows you played, what is something that stands out the most? Like, is there one show you just go, either that was great or, something that stands out?
Yeah, there's a couple that stand out, but I would have to say that probably the coolest thing that happened. Now, this is going back to before we moved up here. Well, it's kind of a two-part to the story. So we, Lewis, our Gene, and I both do weddings at the Kiss mini golf.
Nice.
As well. So on their 1-year anniversary, we did an acoustic set in the parking lot. We threw a big party, and that night we were doing a show across the street at the Hard Rock when it was still open. Now, Bob Kulick, who played on a couple Kiss albums in the late 70s and early 80s when they were having trouble with Ace Frehley, he also played on Paul Stanley's 1978 solo album. He was there. So we were playing at the Hard Rock, and he was sitting at a table right next to the stage. So he had actually auditioned for Kiss in '73, and Ace went out. But then when they had issues with Ace, they called Bob in. So I'm thinking, right here next to us is the guy that actually has played on Kiss albums. And so it was a little bit nerve-wracking. But when we got to the Four Queens, I believe it was, Bob was in town, and we asked him if he wanted to do some songs with us. And at the time, Scott Coogan was our drummer. He's also Ace Frehley's drummer when Ace Frehley tours. So the night before the show, we were rehearsing at Scott's studio, and it's a small studio. And so I'm standing right next to Bob Kulick, and we're playing the songs, rehearsing the songs that he played on the album. And I just remember it being very surreal to me, because we're in this room playing these songs, and the guy that actually played on the Kiss albums is playing those solos in the band that I'm in. It was just mind-blowing. And then he joined us on stage the next night, and he did several songs. And that to me is probably a standout moment. Another moment would be not when it wasn't with Sin City Kiss. I was in Sin City Kiss, but I was on the Kiss cruise, and I was in a kind of a battle of the band competition. So I got to play on the Kiss cruise in front of 2,000 Kiss fans, and that also was very surreal as well, because
were you nervous? That's a lot of people. Were you nervous?
No, you know what? Believe it or not, I don't get nervous. I don't know why. I even in high school, it didn't bother me, or I didn't get nervous if I had to speak in front of the class. I've spoken in front of a lot of people. And it's not something that happens. I just don't get nervous.
That's good. I get nervous sometimes. So I've seen you guys at Trunk or Treat. I brought my son there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You played there. Was that a couple of years ago? I think it was.
Well, we just played it last October, and then I think we did it 2 or 3 years before that. I think 2 years before that we might have done it.
How did you get involved in
that? I remember
that?
it was 2017, because I think we were also doing the show at the Strat, and we had to race from one to the other.
I remember that. I remember talking to Lewis about that. He's like, we got to go. How'd you get involved in that? I know Gary does a lot of car shows. He's been doing it for a few years, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. So it's nice to see.
I think Lewis knows people who have put that on every year, and they've asked us a couple of years. So that's how that happened.
So besides your music and your band, is there anything else you're involved in life? Do you have any hobbies or?
Yeah, I usually keep myself way too busy. So at work, a couple of years ago, I worked for a global bank, and we have an office, a call center out here. So I'm a manager at that call center, and the bank is really big into diversity and inclusion, but we didn't have any of the groups on our campus because it was a brand new campus. So people had been asking for a particular group. They asked who would volunteer. No one put their hand up, so I did. And I started running our first D&I group at the bank here in the Las Vegas area. And that quickly grew to like 350 people out of the 1,000 on campus belong to Spectrum, which is our LGBT plus straight allies diversity group.
Nice.
So I would say over 50% of the people were allies. So that led to our involvement with Pride, which ultimately led to my being on the board of directors of Las Vegas Pride.
I
So
saw that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So my wife and I do a lot with the Pride organization here. Usually that's first Wednesday, I volunteer at bingo. Second Wednesday, we have the board of directors workshop. Third Wednesday, we have our board meeting. So, 3 nights a month on top of the other things too.
Gosh,
So, but it's a passion.
That's nice. I used to go to Gay Pride in San Diego. I used to live in San Diego. It was so much fun getting all dressed up.
I haven't been to that one, but I heard it's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. I know this is kind of a touchy subject, but we could just go over it briefly. With everything going on right now in the world, the coronavirus, riots, and you don't have to go into detail. What are your views on that? That the whole world is in chaos, and jobs are affected, and
Oh yeah. So I kind of have held every viewpoint I think you can have on the coronavirus. I at this point I really don't know what to believe. So do I wear a mask when I go out most of the time? Do I think I need it? No. I would rather just get the damn thing now and then have an immunity to it while I'm still fit and healthy instead of getting it 10 years from now, maybe when I'm not so much.
True. I was thinking.
So, I told my wife, if they want someone to inject and then work on, I'll do it. So I have the immunity.
Be their guinea pig. So has it affected your job at all? Has it affected your job? Obviously, as an entertainer, probably has, but well,
as an entertainer, it has. However, we've done 2 live streaming shows, both of which had over 4,000 views. We did them out of my living room. You can see them on YouTube and Facebook. So working in a call center, it was amazing to see how quickly we were able to deploy 90% of our employees within a 2-month period to work from home. So that was really amazing. We did have 2 people that contracted the COVID, but our response to it was appropriate, if not overkill. We had a company come in overnight and they did a deep clean disinfectant, because I really believe that the company has the best interests of their employees at heart. So they did what they had to do. Other than that, I personally don't know anyone that has it. The riots, that's a whole other topic. I think this couldn't have happened at a worse time because people have been cooped up in their houses and they're, already aggravated and everything. Not to take away from the tragedy of what happened. I think what happened to George Floyd is criminal. I'd make it a capital offense when someone has that kind of power and authority over other people. To have something like that happen is just absolutely not acceptable.
Horrible. Yeah,
and I am one of the biggest supporters of the police. I've got my Blue Lives Matters bumper sticker on because I think that, one bad cop or 10 bad cops out of a country doesn't mean they're all bad. And we would have total chaos. I think the rioting is terrible. It's odd to me that just when the country was opening up, we have these riots going on across the country. It almost seems coordinated, but I hate to be cynical or conspiratorial, but I just look at things and sometimes things just don't feel right,
I know. I always feel like something we don't know, but I feel like something else, is going on that none of us know.
I think there's always something else going on that none of us know.
Right.
But
when is your next show going to play next? Do you have a venue?
No, not right now. I don't think anyone knows when shows are going to open up again. I think it's a good sign that casinos are opening up on the 3rd and the 4th. And I think we probably won't know anything about shows until we see if the virus starts spreading again on this opening. I think if it starts spreading again, God only knows when there will be more shows. But I think if it doesn't spread, there'll probably be new guidelines and standards for shows. Our next show will probably be another live broadcast on Facebook.
Oh, okay. I'm in a similar business. I do catering for a event company, and we do big events, and they're all canceled. I don't know when I'm going back to work. I started this as a hobby, and I've, kind of been sending out resumes. I might work at a grocery store. I don't know, or try to work from home. Do you have any websites you want to share, or your YouTube, if someone would like to look it up?
Yeah, YouTube is just SinCityKiss. Same with Facebook. And we also have SinCityKiss.Vegas, which you can go to, or I forget what the other one is.
Make sure to check it out and subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Is there anyone you want to, give a shout out to, friends or family, before we go?
Oh, yeah, a very long list. But first of all, above all people, my wife, because the stuff she puts up with, I mean, I buy and wear more makeup than she does. Yeah. I mean, how many husbands can shop in the makeup aisle with their wives and find makeup for themselves, right?
That's awesome.
And she let us tear the house apart to do our shows since the COVID lockdown has happened. So definitely my wife, my kids, my parents. Cool story. My dad really was not a big Kiss fan when I was growing up, probably because I was obsessive about it. But him and my mom went on a Kiss cruise with me a couple years ago. And I also was doing this mass vow renewal on the Kiss cruise, hundreds, 1,000 people. We do this mass Kiss-based vow renewal. My parents were there, got a cool picture of that. So, and my dad's gone to a Kiss show last year when they were in Phoenix with me. So, my parents very supportive of all of this stuff. And then the band, obviously, Lewis and Carl and Jeremy, and then our past members like Keith Roberts, who was great, and Scott, Johnny Lust, I'm sorry. So a lot of people, we're where we're at today because of all of their support and their hard work. So shout out to all of them and all the people who continue to come out to see our show time and time again. It's just really cool. I'll close with this one thing, like, why do we keep doing this? Why do I keep doing this? Why do I spend so much time to get ready and do things like that? We played a show at Riviera, and afterward, we were out taking pictures, and this a guy a few years older than me and his wife came up to us, and the guy shook our hands, and he said, because I'm in, I forget, stage 3 or stage 4 cancer. I know I don't have very long left to live. He said, but tonight, you guys made me feel like I was 13 years old again, and I haven't felt this good in a long time. And I thought, people might go, well, it's silly.
Cry. Yeah.
You put on makeup, you play these songs from the 70s, and, it sounds like it's fun.
You bring back memories, the time when they were young and, happy. And
just don't realize when something like that is going to happen, and that's when it makes it all worthwhile.
Makes it all worth it. Well, thank you so much for interviewing with me today. I really appreciate it. Make sure to check out their YouTube channel and subscribe, their Facebook and their website, and watch their online show. And when they come in concert in person, make sure to go see it. And don't forget to, yeah, I'm definitely am. I'm going to mess up at the end. I don't know if I'm going to edit this, but subscribe to the Heather Marie Show on YouTube, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thanks so much.